Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 493 of the Hoopercast Movie Hour. It's me, and I'm giving you an intro because this was recorded without one new thing I'm trying out. It makes it a little bit easier to come in here and give you context. So this episode is about physical media, which we talk about a lot on this show. And in this particular case, Dustin had a pet theory he wanted to try out with me about what is a studio's relationship with physical media home releases in 2024. Some quick fact checking on the front end of this episode because stuff was not known at the time of this recording that is now known. Disney has announced that Inside Out 2 will begin streaming on Disney Plus on September 25th. So the Wednesday after this episode releases. I still think that it's an episode worth discussing. It's still a discussion worth having to determine studio's attitude towards physical media. And then just a quick check on the prices here. I'm on Target's website. The Blu-ray of Inside Out is $24.99, but it will only ship. There's no pickup or delivery available. Same thing for Walmart. Blu-ray is $24.59. Same thing. You can get it shipped. Delivery is out of stock. And then on Amazon, the Steelbook, it's higher than Dustin mentions. It's like $67. Blu-ray $24.59, DVD $19.96. Anyways, it was a great discussion. I always like talking about this, and we really work out a great theory in the episode of how would it work if studios could just go to a physical media on-demand system and have waves or editions of physical media to meet demand, similar to how publishers do with books. You know, hardcover first editions, paperback releases, reprintings, 10th anniversary editions. Can that be adapted to the DVD model or not? So, enjoy the episode. See you next week. Welcome to a gap in the schedule, everybody.
Welcome to a week where we were both busy.
Yes, that's indeed. All right, Dustin, you have tonight's topic.
Yeah, so I want to talk about physical media. So we're recording this, full disclosure, September 10th of 2024. And today is the day that Inside Out 2 is released on Blu-ray and 4K. And DVD, for some reason, that's still happening. And
that makes I don't know why. That makes me feel very safe as a Blu-ray player owner who never ever wants to buy another format.
I'm just so confused by it. Like, why are we there? You can't just buy a DVD player anymore. So anybody buying a DVD player is buying a Blu-ray player. So why do we still have DVDs? I don't get it. Is this for people who just want to save $5?
I don't know. I mean, like, because don't some people? I guess it's in the same way that like we put movies out on VHS for a long time, even though but I guess we were still selling combo players at that time. But maybe
all of our players are combo. My 4K player plays DVDs.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe because some people still have just a DVD player. Some person in R&D at these places has some statistic of something, or they don't. It's a big right. As I'm learning as an adult, I say things like that, like surely they have numbers for this, and then my life experience has taught me that someone just said, if you want, fuck it. Let's just make some DVDs. Like,
yeah, whatever.
I'm sure there's plenty of people who didn't upgrade their players, and one intern looked at that person like, "What?" And meeting adjourned. Wait, what? Hold on, what?
This is a good question. Hold on. When did the first Blu-ray come out?
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna let me think hard. Blu-rays,
I remember. Okay, yes.
Wasn't it like 2008?
It was before that.
6.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I remember we went into college in 07. And when we went into college, my roommate
That's right.
was buying Blu-ray and HD
DVDs
because we didn't know who was going to win the war.
It's right. I remember that. Yeah, Logan had had 2 of everything, and
yes,
it similar to because we were in the middle of VHS versus Betamax.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
We had learned as students of entertainment and media. We knew of this. We knew that there would be a clear winner.
Yes, exactly. So let's do this. So DVDs came out in 1995.
Wow, were they that early?
I certainly didn't adopt them that early.
It's kind of like saying, it's kind of like when they tell you like the internet was invented in like, 1979, and you're like, what? Like, yeah,
right.
Yeah, sure. Someone, the military had it, but like,
sure.
When did the military had DVD players in 1995?
Somebody did.
Yeah.
So I just Googled, when did the last VHS come out? The final VHS was released in 2006, interestingly, the same year that Blu-ray was released, with David Cronenberg's 2005 action thriller, A History of Violence. The film is an adaptation, blah, blah, blah. We know what the film is. But A History of Violence was the final VHS ever produced.
Seriously?
Yes.
That's earlier than I would have thought for the whole format to end.
Yep. So that means 11 years after DVD is when VHS went away.
Okay.
Right? So then if it follows that 11 years after Blu-ray comes out,
yeah,
that DVD should go away. Hey, we're past that mark.
Well, I guess when would that? Oh, hey, when would that have been? So 2000. What would you say it was? 2006.
It was 2006. So we're talking about 2017 is when the last DVD should have been released.
Well, when did the HD DVD go away? Wasn't it a couple of years before it went away?
HD DVD, yeah, it went away probably around 2007 or 8.
Probably 2008. Because see, to me, it was like. My pet theory was, well, here, what year was it?
2008, yes.
Okay. So that was what I was thinking of when you asked me the question. I was thinking more of when did HD DVD, when did I stop seeing those?
Sure.
But yeah, my pet theory was 11 years after 2008 is 2019. They probably would have gone away, and then COVID happened. And then,
sure.
And then we were like, we forgot about it.
Right.
So whoever was in charge of that was like, I got bigger problems.
He got laid off.
Yeah, like got furloughed. He was one of those people who walked out the door was like, good luck keeping the system on track without me, fuckers.
And now there's a robot doing that job. And, and they're just like, just keep the DVDs coming.
Yeah. Maybe we should make VHSs again.
They're making a comeback. Hey.
It's gonna be a gas. Yeah, I don't know. That is kind of weird.
So it's weird. It's weird that DVDs are still being produced. But I want to talk about physical media just in general. So here's where I'm at, and what kind of spurred this was today. I thought, Inside Out 2 came out. My son loves Inside Out 1 and the short film Riley's First Date. Like, he loves both of those movies. So I thought I would like for him to see Inside Out 2. Here's the weird thing. Inside Out 2 is out on DVD and Blu-ray and 4K today, but it is not on Disney Plus.
Oh.
So they have now pushed the Disney Plus release date further out than the home video release, which is weird. And there is no date listed for Inside Out 2 on Disney Plus. A quick Google search in the area tells me that Inside Out 2 is still playing at theaters near me.
What?
So I wonder, yes, because it's made so much money. It's still today I mean, there are showtimes for tomorrow at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 theaters near me.
Oh my God.
So I wonder if they're waiting on the theater run to finally expire before they drop it on
streaming
because they stand to make more money. I don't know.
Interesting.
It's a weird thing because now certainly, like, if I hadn't seen Inside Out 2 at this point, my thought is, okay, do I take the family to go see Inside Out 2, or do I just go buy the DVD for $20 and we can watch as many times as we want?
Yeah.
Boom, there's my answer.
Yeah. And the studio's like, fuck it, I don't care. Oh, either one.
I don't care. So all this to say, Inside Out 2 is a bunch of conundrums to me. 1, why is DVD still being produced? 2, why is it not on streaming yet?
Mm-hmm.
And 3, here's the kicker. All of these, DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, all 3 of these are not available in stores. You can order them online at Walmart, online at Target, but you cannot today on its release date go into a Target store and buy Inside Out 2. So I can log on to Amazon and buy it.
Yeah.
But I cannot buy it in stores. Now here's the 4th weird thing. DVD, $20, $19.99. Blu-ray, $24.99. 4K, $47.99.
Whoa.
$47. Now, the excuse given is the 4K release is a steelbook.
Okay.
And that's the only way you can get the 4K. So if you want it on 4K, it seems like Disney is trying to squeeze every dime out of this, and they're charging now $50 to buy this on 4K, double the price of Blu-ray. It's the first time I've ever seen that.
Yeah, where Steelbook isn't like a fun collector's option at the top of the tier.
Pre-order it in advance,
right?
Whatever.
But it's like, yeah, you want it in 4K, you have to buy the Steelbook.
You have to buy the Steelbook. And here's the upcharge. So this is the world that we're coming into. A world where DVDs still exist. a world where streaming seems to not exist. A world where you can't go buy a physical DVD anywhere anymore. And you got to pay out the nose to watch a high def version of this thing.
Everything is cattywampus.
Everything is cattywampus, and it makes me feel like this is a deliberate test by Disney. Now, couple this with two other facts about Disney lately. 1, they recently shuttered the Disney movie program, the Disney Movie Club.
Right.
Wherein people could purchase discounted versions of their favorite movies. That is now gone.
Yeah.
2, they also have now, they're in the process of shuttering Disney Movie Insiders, which is their rewards program, where when you buy physical media, you enter the code, you get points. The points can be redeemed for other things on their site. They're shuttering that as well. So it seems like Disney is taking every opportunity they can to make this experience completely without any sort of incentive. So there's a lot of really weird things happening here now with Inside Out 2. And it makes me feel like this is all a test. And that I'm not going to jump into conspiracy theories, but this is what it makes. I haven't read a single thing about this. I'm just thinking about this today, right? It feels a little bit like a test. Like this is some trial run for something that I don't know what it is.
Right.
Whether it's higher prices on our physical releases, let's see what we can do. Putting on my conspiracy hat, I wonder if this is a way for them to justify getting rid of physical media and say, look, nobody bought it. When the truth is they made it really hard to buy it.
Yeah.
And so now they have the justification to say, look, the biggest movie of the year sold nothing on home video. So let's just get rid of home video.
Jeez.
Now, again, okay, conspiracy hat, now off.
Sure.
My tinfoil hat is now to the side. So it made me think, like, what is the future of physical media? We have to have some sort of game plan here. Obviously, there is still a desire for people to own physical media, even if that pool is shrinking. But the people who want it really, really want it.
Yeah.
And so my question to you, if I put you in Iger's position tomorrow and you could make these decisions, if whatever. Obviously, there's a temptation to completely remove the the overhead that is printing and producing DVDs, Blu-rays, 4Ks.
Yeah.
Right? Because you've got to hire artists to design the packaging. You've got to buy the cases and the discs and get them printed and
make the menus, get the commentaries recorded.
Exactly. It's a process, right? So put in your chapters, put in all that. Like, it takes time, it takes money. Knowing that you could immediately cut all of those expenditures and you just won't make any of that back in sales. Obviously, there's a temptation to do that, right? Because you're cutting a lot of your expenses out.
Mm-hmm.
And you're driving people presumably to your streaming service. So you are still making money. The people who would have bought it are now forced to buy your streaming service.
Mm-hmm.
The catch-22 there being is, are they already subscribed to it? Right?
Yeah.
So there's that. But, okay, so there's that. But here's my question. Is there a world, by your estimation, that you would look at the demand that there is for that and try to think creatively, how do I meet that demand and stand to make money on my end about it?
Yeah.
So here's my thought. Printing on demand. Disney has a catalog of however many films that they have. And any collector anywhere who wants whatever title they want to own from their entire catalog, in my thought, should be able to go onto a website interface somewhere, click on those things that they want, and purchase them physically. And they are not printed until the purchase is made. So, that being said, maybe we don't get bonus features. Maybe we don't get all the things we've come to associate with DVD, Blu-ray, 4K. But maybe we do. And the idea is, what's the downside? Talk to me. What's the downside of printing on demand if that's the way we go?
Yeah, I don't see one, because to speak to Bob Iger's stake in it, like, I would think that part of any businessman's business sense is capitalize on an existing market. Like, why work twice as hard to create a market with all your products when the first thing you need to do is harness existing markets? So if there's a market for home media, provide the supply. If it's diminishing, well then, okay, cut costs or trim it down. Because what we do know of consumers is, like, as much as we like everything instant, people are willing to wait. Like, there's plenty of things you buy. People buy clothes, that take weeks to ship to you because they're custom made or whatever. Like, we're fine with waiting for products as long as we can have them. And even the window in which we get them is pretty reasonable. If I bought a Blu-ray of, I don't know, the Nuki, and it took a month to get to me, that's kind of extreme, but a month.
Sure.
I'd be like, that's fine. Like, I just want to own Nuki. I don't need Nuki now.
Right.
4K of Nuki. Because we do this with books. If a book is out of print, someone, I'm not sure exactly how this works, but from what I understand, like a book chain or someone can basically like can make it happen to get a publisher to print another, round of books for sale, because the chain pays for the copies, and then they eat the cost of not selling the copies.
Yeah.
So they have to have some awareness or expectation of cost, but like, so of course, probably it's different in the case of physical media versus just print and paper. But considering all that, I would have whatever the number is. Studios would figure out what the standard operating number is for a certain kind of film, but I would have first editions. And that's the one that's the DVD, Blu-ray, 4K. Fine, do your steelbooks, but that's the fourth tier. That's not the only way to get a 4K.
Yeah.
All formats and digital, and have that be your director's commentary, whatever behind the scenes you shot, whatever else you want to throw in there. Most people don't care, but those, and that's like the bulk inventory you have. And that's also what you cut into if sales don't meet expectations. Well, now you've got a bunch of inventory that has these features. Yeah. And that's your first edition. And then that's everyone who's serious about owning a movie or owning the movie or owning the version that has all the features, they're buying it. Yep. And they get to put it on their shelf and say, well, this is the first edition of Avatar. I bought this when it came out because I'm serious about owning movies.
Yep.
And anyone who watches the movie on streaming or whatever, anywhere at a certain point, who goes, I think I'd like to own this. And they go online and they buy it. Maybe all that's available once the others are out of print is the second edition, where, okay, we'll manufacture a new one for you. It's going to take a couple of weeks. And there's not going to be, maybe there won't be those features on it.
Yeah.
Or we can make you one with those features because we still have them.
Yep.
But it's going to cost you some more. Which do you want? But that's what you do, I think, because I understand, like, if it's not cost effective to make something just because some person wants it somewhere sometime, I get that. But if we're going to start sending drones from Amazon to drop off my detergent to me, then we are willing to cater immense resources to make one person's dream happen. And so if we're already kind of allocating resources to more personalized delivery, I think you can allocate resources to, okay, even if we print 100 copies of this movie that this one person ordered, like, we can reasonably expect that 100 people somewhere will buy it. Yeah, and that this person in Ohio isn't the only person in the next 10 years who will want to own this movie on physical. And even if they are, we can eat the cost of 99 DVDs. It's not that big a deal. For something we've already produced, all we have to do is laser it onto the fucking disc. We have the stuff. The disc is over there. We have all the assets.
You know what's interesting about this model, and it's interesting because I hadn't thought about that, is it creates what Disney loves, which is manufactured demand. And what I mean by that is, do you remember the Disney Vault?
Yeah.
That was fake demand.
Yeah.
That was, whoa, get it now before it goes back into the Disney Vault. And it would disappear behind the vaulted doors. And then 7 years later, they'd be like, just released from the Disney Vault, Aladdin. And you'd be like, oh, I haven't seen it. I wanted that movie, but I couldn't get it for 7 years.
That's right.
Here you go. And that's completely just manufactured, fabricated demand. And that's what this is. It's, hey, you want Inside Out 2? We're only producing 10,000 of them. So get your orders in, get your pre-orders in. Better be lucky. And then when they sell out, they realize, oh, we can open up another 10,000. And then they open up another 10,000 and they're like, great. These are the second editions. Even if they have the exact same features, maybe it has a different cover art, maybe it has something different about it, but like it's the exact same thing. All they're doing is calling it edition 2.
Yeah.
And you could put that on the cover. You could put Big Hero 6 second edition, second printing, right? Comic books do this. Like you said, books do that. It's second printing. It's not as valuable, but it's there.
Yeah.
And instead of printing 10,000 of them, you print 100,000 of them, and you sell through those. I wonder, and I guess this isn't really a known figure, but like when historically, let's rewind the clock to Avengers Infinity War or Avengers Endgame, how many of those movies were produced? How many copies of those movies were produced? Right?
Yeah.
So in other words, when Disney put in that order for whatever company, maybe they're doing it in-house, I don't know, that's going to actually print those discs. When they put in that order, did they say we want 1 million of them made? Did they want 10 million of them made? What number are they putting in there?
Yeah.
That then to them makes it look like nobody wants these flipping things.
Yeah.
Because they're sitting on just vast inventories of all of this. Because you have to assume that like Walmart online has a huge inventory, probably still to this day, of Avengers, in-game copies.
Yeah.
Obviously, I can go on Amazon right now and order a copy of it. So it's sitting in a warehouse somewhere.
Somewhere, yeah.
So how many of these things are there? And is the better model the one that shows them? Because right now, all they're seeing is all of this inventory that's unsold.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're seeing on every spreadsheet. It doesn't matter the figure that says, here's all the ones that have sold. They're looking at all the money they could have made.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's what any business does. They're looking at all the money sitting in their inventory right now.
Yeah.
And going, why can't we move this? And that's the frustration of them probably looking at it going, nobody wants physical media. And the truth is, like Disney of all companies, they charge more than most for their movies. And like, John Wick 4 is released in like April of whatever year. I don't know. I'm making all this up, but it's like released in April. And then for Black Friday, it's like $5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Disney doesn't do that. Their titles hardly ever go on sale. So like they're already shooting themselves in the foot with all of that. And I can't tell you, like back in the day, you'd go to Best Buy and like you'd see Disney, it'd be like 101 Dalmatians. And you'd look at it and go, that's weird. I have 101 Dalmatians on Blu-ray, but that's a different cover art. So they're already producing multiple versions. And like Disney would do like the Walt Disney Signature Collection. And it's like the exact same thing, just with Walt's signature on the front. And they produce all their movies with the Walt Disney signature. And then like, 3 years later, they're reprinting all of their movies again, this time as a digibook. And then they're reprinting all their movies again, this time as a steelbook. And I can't tell you like how many times I saw that at Best Buy. It'd just be like edition after edition after edition. And it means like they're custom making this stuff over and over and over in huge quantities. And all that to say, they're looking at it going, we're not selling all of these things we're making. So to me, limiting that demand, just like you're talking about, limiting the availability to 10,000 copies or 100,000 copies, whatever it might be for the next Avengers movie, 500,000 copies, who knows? I don't know the statistics on how movies are selling right now, but like you limit that to whatever number, first edition it and get it out there. And when they sell out, then you release more. And this is also similar to the way that toys are being produced now. Like obviously at any time you can go to Target or Walmart and buy, the latest Mario figure and like, oh, it's Mario and Luigi. Cool. great. They're always there. But lines like McFarlane's DC lines or Marvel Legends, those generally are released or announced online. You pre-order them, and it seems like they're printing whatever the pre-orders are.
Mm-hmm.
And so you may never see, maybe there's a little bit above that.
Sure.
But you may never see those toys in your store. You might, but you might not. And so whereas like when we were kids, you know, every Toys R Us had every Spider-Man 2 figure that was ever produced. And you can walk into any Toys R Us and find them. Now it's like pre-order your figures, then we make them based on the number of pre-orders. Maybe we plus it by 10%, send that 10% out to the world. And if you get it there, you get it. But if not, you missed it. You should have pre-ordered it.
Yeah.
And like, that's sort of the way that I see. That's sort of the way that I see physical media going. It's like, obviously it feels like it won't go away because one, DVD still hasn't gone away. And two, it feels like it won't go away because like you said, any exec worth his salt or her salt or their salt is going to be saying, there's a market here. There's a demand here. Let's meet it in some way. The question is, how are they going to meet it? And I think the way that they've been doing it is gone. And I think Inside Out 2 is proof of that.
I can deal with any of it as long as the option is given for me to get it later somehow. Like even if there's like a list, even if it's like, yeah, we're going to do a round, we're going to basically take a bunch of orders until November. And then we're going to manufacture them and send them out in December. Like that's me like now in September. I could deal with that. If I was like trying to get a Blu-ray of something, like I could tolerate that because I'd be like, cool. Thanks for making it. Thanks for investing. Like I totally understand why this isn't available today, but I appreciate that you're going to make it within this financial quarter.
Yes. Yeah.
There's a show. I was thinking about this while you were talking. Barry, the show Barry, the Bill Hader show. Which I'll talk about another time, but like, maybe I already have. Is a show I really like and a show that I would consider owning. On physical. It's 4 seasons, and it does not have a complete series physical release. They have season 1, and that's it. If you go online to try to buy it, it's very clearly fake. And it only sells on eBay. And everyone's like, what the hell? Like that sucks,
what gives?
You know, because like it was a critically acclaimed show. And it's just like, for whatever reason, whoever produced the show just decided like, no, not worth it. Even though like the show has a fan base. So it would make sense to me that like, can studios just put out like a survey? Can they just, be like, can their like X account or something just be like, hey, click this link and tell us if you would want a physical copy of Barry.
Yeah.
You know, like, and then just use that as like even a rough estimate. Like, okay, there's like 5,000 people here who would buy one.
Yep.
Why don't we make 4,000 or 3,500 and see if we can sell them? You know, like, because this is people on the internet who are clicking, like, you know, they're just clicking, like, who knows? Who knows if they'd actually pay up, or if they just love clicking things. But make half of that number and sell it. And then if you move and go, okay, all right, well then let's make 2,000 more, and just keep doing that.
Yeah,
like keep doing that. And by the way, it's not like only one show exists. Do this for everything. Okay, let's do this for The Sopranos. Let's do this for Friends. Like, just put out a survey, just like click on every show that you'd be interested, and then just have it feed into this big graph and say, wow, 100,000 people would love a box set of The Sopranos. And then go to the printing machine that prints all these and tell it how many of each show to print. And then you just do that.
And there you go.
What cost is associated with that other than electricity and the machine itself existing? Like, it's the same startup cost. You buy a fucking print machine and now you just have it and maintain it.
And at some point somebody has to design this stuff, but like that's...
But usually that's, I mean, especially for The Sopranos, that's happened. Like,
correct.
Like just pull the assets out, change them, give them, clean them up in Photoshop so they look a little nicer, or pull a different photo that you never used before, just do that, but like for everything else, it's like, for this back catalog, all this stuff exists already. And for the stuff that's up front, find a way to reduce the cost. And whether that is less extra content, most people just want to own the show.
Yeah.
And people like you and me want extra content. But if it's not on there, it's if they put out Better Call Saul and it's like, hey, there's no director's commentary, you're not going to be like, fuck, deal breaker. You're going to be like, oh, well, that sucks. I guess they didn't record one. You won't think about it. You won't think about what's not there. You'll just think about, oh, I'm glad I have the show.
Speaking of Better Call Saul, I've wondered if we would ever get a 4K release of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, or if we're stuck with the Blu-rays forever. And the reason I ask is because, like, obviously the 4K exists because you can have Netflix in 4K, and that's a 4K title. So there is a 4K master somewhere of Breaking Bad. Why has that not been released? Like, these are the things that I'm like obviously the number of people who, because with stuff like that, when you're talking about upgrading, you take the number of people who own, like, the number of sales you made for the Blu-ray, and then like 10% of those people, I don't know, are probably going to be interested in actually upgrading to 4K. But for those people like me who probably would, if you did like a cool big box set with Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, and El Camino, and it was a big massive box set in 4K, I'd buy the heck out of that. But like, unless you did like that thing, do you remember they did, I forget what they called it, like the Middle Earth collection or something, and it was all 6 movies. Yeah. And it was like $835 or something.
It's like, I'm sorry,
like,
pal.
Why would anyone do this? This is ridiculous.
What
if they did that? No,
a niche market of super rich nerds with much disposable income.
Yeah, exactly. These are for the people that actually, made it to Smaug and back and have the treasures to buy this.
Yeah. No, I like, and again, I think of like the cost of doing these things. Like, that must be their argument. It's just like too much cost. Again, either don't offer the things, or certain things you just got to make it part of the budget. Like, part of the cost, like when you sign a director, put it in their contract, like, hey, by the way, part of the salary you're getting is doing an audio commentary. Like, in the same way that I'm sure, I don't know this for absolute certain, but I'm pretty sure when a studio pays a director, that includes all the press that they have to do and all the other stuff. So it's just like, okay, commentary, like,
and honestly, home video production should be covered under the marketing budget. Mm-hmm. Because that's what it is. Yeah. Like, okay, cool. We know we need to reserve X amount from the marketing budget for post-film release content, which would be the home video market, or like spots advertising that it's on digital now, whatever it is. Yeah. But like you see that all the time, right? Like, available now on digital, Inside Out 2. And it's like playing in front of your, YouTube video. And it's like, okay, so Disney's spending marketing on Inside Out even to right now.
And again, those are salaried employees who are making those promos. It's not like it's money it's not like it's new money that has to be spent. This is part of their annual budget. This is personnel. A person is taking a 15-second promo that already exists, moving a few shots around and adding some text, and someone came in and did a revoice. But like, that's not new money that's creating that, you know?
Correct.
So it's like, what cost is there associated with that? Like you can't count an employee's salary and benefits as the budget of a film, because it's not. Right.
So yeah. But yeah, I'm just so curious what the physical media, because you always hear people like, oh, it's gonna go away. It's gonna go away. And I'm like, I don't know.
No one's ever really gone.
No one's ever really gone. I'm like, I don't know, because here's the thing. There are people who still want to buy, and it's a dumb exec who says, nah, screw them.
Right. It's not just because some executives do that doesn't mean that that's what all executives will do or should do.
Yeah.
You know, your responsibility is to, if you're a CEO, I mean, cynically, you're a CEO, your responsibility is, if there's a way for your business to make money or prevent loss, that's your job. Is to make that happen. And so if there's a market for something, your job is to go, okay, how can we make that work? You know, yes. And if the only way to make it work is to make home video more expensive, then you don't make only the 4K more expensive. Like if you have to pass the cost along to consumers, you know, you'd have to do it across the board, but you need to show us that. And when we make the decision, but I'm betting it's not that. You don't, I think it's more of the optics. Like, they don't want to do the pivot of, never mind. Like, they don't want to look stupid for talking for years. And especially, like you said earlier, they're worried about the impact on streaming. Well, if we offer DVDs again, maybe people won't get on Disney Plus. I don't think that's a legitimate fear. People will do both. There's plenty of things. People who buy DVDs don't exclusively buy DVDs and not watch streaming. They buy DVDs of their very favorite things, but when they're trying they don't buy DVDs of stuff they haven't watched. They buy DVDs of things they have watched and loved, and they recognize the impermanence of streaming and content on streaming. Sure. I'm not going to buy several movies that have been made in the last several years because they're not good enough for me to want to own. Like, I'm not going to buy the last several Pixar films because they've been lackluster, not because they're on Disney Plus and I don't need to buy them. So I would hope that they find some way to keep the market alive, even if in the beginning it's like a big long waiting list or, you know, a bear with us, you know, production process. But this is like one of the biggest companies in the world. Like, you're telling me no one there can think of an efficient way to make this work. Right. Again, just borrow from the publishers, like just adapt that model to this product, and it shouldn't be that difficult. I just think that when you have assets that already exist, I don't see how, when 70% of the work is done, you can't just do the other 30%.
Yep. Well, and this is the thing. Like, I know for a fact that they've been bitten in the butt because they've overproduced in quantity these Blu-rays and DVDs, and now they're stuck with a bunch of them. Because like, if you go to any, you know, like yard sale and they're like, here's my stack of DVDs that they're selling, or any antique store or any like thrift store, it's always like law-abiding citizen, couples retreat, Paul Blart Mall Cop. And it's like, how many copies of this did you make? Yeah. Why is there copies of these movies everywhere I go that nobody wants, that somebody bought at some point and now nobody wants them? And presumably, let's just check. Can I go to Amazon right now and buy a copy of Paul Blart Mall Cop on Blu-ray? Yes, it is $8.49. Which means there's a pallet of Paul Blart Mall Cop Blu-rays in an Amazon warehouse somewhere.
A box full of Blart. A Blart full of movies.
Correct.
Blart
and
full
I can
of
get
Paul.
it in 2 days, which means it's a 2 days journey from me and probably from everyone in the United States. Which means there are multiple Amazon warehouses with this movie on tap. Think about that. There is
someone
somebody
walks past
right
them.
now.
Yeah.
Somebody right now is walking through an Amazon warehouse, walking right past the Paul Blart Mall Cop stack,
Marveling at its existence.
and probably between the time that we started recording and right now, somebody has ordered it, and that order is now being fulfilled by Amazon.
Thanks, Amazon.
Thanks, Amazon. This is crazy.
Yeah.
There's still a market for this.
Yeah. I think that the pivot to streaming has clouded a lot of judgment. And I think that not only as the market ebbs and flows, we knew from the beginning of streaming that the way that ends is higher prices, more advertisements, and multiple tiers. And now the only thing that really remains that is happening is bundles. Like you can get a bundle with Disney and HBO Max. Which is crazy because they're like competitors, but they're like, if bundling makes us more money, who's a competitor?
Yeah.
Well, we're all friends,
right?
We're friends if bundling makes us money, and we're friends if we're trying to fuck over the SAG-AFTRA or the WGA.
Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse are best friends.
Woo! Here's the only clip of them together ever. Roger Rabbit.
Cue Roger Rabbit.
Yeah. See this old thing? I think that when companies stop getting so obsessed with streaming and just treat it like another offering, but not like their prime, like right now, Disney acts like it's like their prime thing. It's like, it's like their star pupil. And it's like, I'm pretty sure that parks and resorts will always be your biggest money. Well, merchandise, I suppose, but like toys and merchandise will be your biggest sellers always. Like, make that your star pupil. And I think they do, because I think every movie they make and everything that's made is considered through the lens of long-term sales and whatnot. So cynically, but that's not the impression I get from the way that streaming is talked about, because it's their newest thing. And for a bunch of people, it's like their most important thing. It's worth sinking all this money into. And I think it's like, that's fine. If you want to throw away a ton of money on Disney Plus, that's your business. That's literally your business. But that shouldn't mean that you're sort of afraid to allocate resources to home media just because you think it'll hurt it somehow. Like, because I just don't think it will. I really don't think
people who are going to buy physical are going to buy physical, even if they already are subscribed to Disney Plus.
Yeah, that's what I do. I mean, like I've been buying physical lately, and like some of this stuff, some of it's, but I'm not buying it because it's not on the internet. Yeah. I'm buying it because I want, like, they assume all these if thens to a specific degree. Connor wants to own the John Wick quadrilogy. Connor's buying the John Wick Blu-rays because he wants to own them all and see them at full resolution. He's not buying them because they're not on Peacock or whatever.
Right.
He's buying the, because what if they were on Peacock? That doesn't mean I'm not buying them. That just means that's assuming I'm buying something so that I can watch it. I can rent John Wick. I have access to a library. I can rent it digital. If I just want to see it, well then, I'm going to go the most frictionless route to seeing it. But I'm not buying it because I just want to see it. I'm buying it because I want to own it.
I want to own it. I want to support it. I want to show you that this is something that I enjoy. Yeah. And I plan to enjoy multiple times. The same reason you buy anything. Like you said, it's just an ownership thing sometimes. Yeah. Like I've got all these movies. I'm probably not going to watch all of them. Like there are titles on here that I'll watch once every 15 years. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I own it. And there's some sense in me of like, that's mine and it can't be taken away. This is one of my favorite movies and it's now a part of what I own. I think that used to probably be, I think a big part of them comparing the numbers of years ago is not taking into account that like renting something used to be hard. There didn't used to be digital rentals. Yeah. Like there was video rentals at Blockbuster, or Redbox,
or other video stores. And the cost was such that, I mean, you may as well buy if you're pretty sure you're going to like it. Like you can save $5 and just go ahead and buy it instead of renting it and then buying it later. You know, like, so I'm sure there was a bunch of people who bought stuff because I bought plenty of movies that I was pretty sure I was going to enjoy. And about half the time I was right, you know? And so I think that now just people who are buying things are buying them because they know they like them. Because there's so many ways to try things out these days. There's too many ways to rent things or try or access things. And it's a different customer who's buying physical media and a different person who's signing up for Disney Plus. They're two different. Those two customers might exist within the same person, but the thing that they're buying or wanting to access, it's that they're doing it for two different reasons. So
100%.
Well, it'll keep unfolding as it tends to do. So,
yep. I'm interested to see where it goes.
Yeah, man. Totally. All right.
Great.
Okay. Good discussion.
Yeah.
All right, everyone.
All right.
Get out of here. Bye.